Have you ever pondered the stark duality of life and death? This question has been a source of contemplation and debate for philosophers, scholars, and thinkers throughout the ages. The paradox of life and death is a topic that is as fascinating as it is complex. Life and death are two sides of the same coin, each an integral part of existence. They represent an inherent duality, a paradox of sorts where one cannot exist without the other. Life gives birth to death, and death in turn makes room for new life. They are interconnected in a cycle that is as old as time itself. Our understanding and perception of life and death have a profound influence on our experiences and actions. They shape our values, our aspirations, our fears, and our dreams. They form the lens through which we view the world and our place in it. The way we perceive life and death can either limit us or set us free. Now imagine a culture where death is not feared but embraced as a natural part of life. A society where individuals live each day as if it were their last, not out of fear, but out of a deep appreciation for the present moment. This is the world of the samurai, the legendary warriors of Japan. The samurai's view on life and death offers a unique perspective on this age-old question. For them, life and death are not opposing forces but complementary aspects of existence. They see death not as an end but as a transition, a change of state in the ceaseless flow of life. The samurai's perspective on life and death is not just a philosophical concept, but a way of life. It influences their actions, their decisions, and their interactions with others. It shapes their character, their values, and their sense of purpose. It gives them the courage to face challenges, the resilience to overcome obstacles, and the wisdom to appreciate the beauty and impermanence of life. So, let's embark on a journey of discovery and enlightenment. Let us delve into the world of the samurai and their unique perspective on life and death. Imagine a life steeped in discipline, honor, and courage, the life of a samurai. A samurai's existence was not merely about wielding a sword. It was a way of life, a philosophy that permeated every aspect of their being. It was a life governed by a rigorous regimen of training and the unwritten moral code of Bushido, the way of the warrior. From a tender age, the samurai were taught to master the art of combat, but their training extended beyond the physical. It was as much about honing the mind as it was about strengthening the body. They learned to focus, to concentrate, to be mindful. They were trained to observe, to perceive, to understand. The samurai's life was steeped in a strict code of ethics. Honor was held in higher esteem than life itself. Duty was paramount. They served their masters with unwavering loyalty, often at the cost of their own lives. They valued integrity, righteousness, and courage. They were taught to be compassionate, respectful, and honest. Mindfulness was crucial to the samurai's existence. They were taught to live in the present moment, to be fully aware and engaged. They believed that dwelling on the past or worrying about the future was a waste of the precious present. This mindfulness gave them a clear mind, allowing them to make rational decisions under pressure and to react swiftly and effectively in battle. The samurai's life was not an easy one. It was a life of constant challenge, of perpetual striving for perfection, but it was also a life of immense satisfaction. For the samurai believed that it was the journey that mattered, not the destination. They found joy in the process, in the pursuit of excellence, in the daily grind of training and discipline. The samurai lived each day as if it were his last, fully embracing the fleeting nature of life. They understood that life was transient, that it was here today and gone tomorrow. This realization made them cherish each moment, each breath, each beat of their heart. They lived their lives to the fullest, not in fear of death, but in celebration of life. The samurai lived each day as if it were his last, fully embracing the fleeting nature of life. To the samurai, death was not an end, but a natural and inevitable part of life. This viewpoint was at the very core of the samurai spirit, shaping their actions, their decisions, and indeed, their entire existence. The samurai's acceptance of death was not born out of a morbid fascination or a nihilistic outlook, but a profound understanding of the impermanence of life. Death, to the samurai, was simply the other side of the coin of life, a part of the same continuum. They faced it with the same stoic acceptance with which they embraced all of life's hardships. This acceptance was not passive, but rather an active embracing of what was to come. But it wasn't just about accepting death. The samurai believed in dying with honor and dignity. To them, the manner of one's death was just as important, if not more so, than the way one lived. A samurai would rather fall in battle, sword in hand, defending his honor, than die of old age in the comfort of his bed. This belief, this unwavering commitment to a dignified death, was a defining characteristic of the samurai spirit. The samurai's perspective on death also had a profound impact on their day-to-day lives. Knowing that death could come at any moment, they lived their lives with a sense of urgency and purpose. Every moment was precious, every decision carried weight. They understood that life was fleeting, and so they strived to make every moment count. This acceptance of death, this willingness to face it head-on, did not make the samurai fearless. Rather, it gave them the courage to live authentically. It freed them from the fear of the unknown, allowing them to live their lives in accordance with their own values and principles. So, in the face of death, the samurai found freedom. They found the courage to live authentically, to live a life of honor and dignity, a life that was true to their spirit. And in this they found a sense of peace, a sense of fulfillment that transcended their mortal existence. In the face of death, the samurai found freedom and the courage to live authentically. The samurai's view on life and death, while seemingly paradoxical, offers valuable insights for our own lives. The samurai, these stoic warriors of ancient Japan, possessed a unique perspective on life and death. This perspective, while deeply rooted in the context of their era, holds timeless wisdom that transcends cultures and centuries. At the heart of the samurai's worldview was a profound understanding of the impermanence of life. Every breath, every heartbeat, every moment was precious, not despite its fleeting nature, but because of it. This awareness of life's ephemeral nature did not lead the samurai to despair, but rather imbued them with a heightened sense of the present moment. They understood that to truly live, one must fully inhabit the here and now, for it is all we truly possess. In the face of death's inevitability, the samurai did not cower, but found courage. They did not deny or shy away from the reality of mortality. Instead, they embraced it as a fundamental part of existence. This acceptance of death served not to diminish life, but to enhance it. For in acknowledging the certainty of death, the samurai were able to live with a greater intensity and purpose. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the samurai's view on life and death was their unwavering commitment to a life of honor and courage. They believed that it was not the length of life that mattered, but the quality of it. They understood that a life lived in alignment with one's principles, a life of courage, honor, and integrity, was a life well lived, regardless of its duration. In summarizing the samurai's view on life and death, we find a profound wisdom that speaks to the human condition. It reminds us to live fully in the present, to accept the inevitability of death, and to live a life of honor and courage. Like the samurai, we too can embrace the fleeting nature of life and find courage in the face of death. So, how can we apply the samurai's wisdom to our own lives? Just as the samurai lived with a deep awareness of life's impermanence, we too can embrace this understanding. Rather than shying away from the inevitability of change and the certainty of death, we can adopt a perspective that sees these truths not as sources of fear, but as reminders to live fully and authentically. One of the key lessons from the samurai's view on life is the practice of mindfulness. This is not about dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, but rather being fully present in the here and now. It's about savoring each moment, each breath, each sunrise, each laughter. It's about appreciating the beauty in the mundane, the extraordinary in the ordinary. Another lesson is living according to our values. The samurai lived by a strict code of honor, guided by principles such as loyalty, courage, and honesty. In our own lives, we can strive to identify and live by our own values, whether they be kindness, integrity, or perseverance. These values can serve as our compass, guiding our decisions and actions and providing a sense of purpose and direction. The samurai's acceptance of death also teaches us to embrace the impermanence of life. Everything is transient, our joys, our sorrows, our victories, our defeats. Instead of clinging to these fleeting moments, we can learn to let go, to flow with life's ebbs and flows. This acceptance can bring a sense of peace and freedom, a liberation from the fear of loss and change. In essence, the samurai wisdom encourages us to live with presence, authenticity, and courage. It invites us to face life and death with equanimity, to embrace our human experience in all its complexity and beauty. In adopting the samurai's perspective, we can live more fulfilling lives, unafraid of the inevitable and fully present in each moment.